Hello and welcome to the Tuesday Night Music Show. We have
Hello.
we have Howie and Jay, fresh off of
Something.
something. He's back. He was gone, but now he's back.
Gone, but
And
I'm back.
we have who I'm calling Georgia Matt with us today.
Hello, everybody.
He's first time, no, second time on the show. You were on a couple weeks ago, weren't you?
Yeah, I did a game show with you guys.
Yeah,
I did. What did we talk about? I don't know. Probably music. It's a music
We
show.
did. We
There's a good
did
chance we talked about music. Yeah.
the Wheel of Doom. Yes,
Yeah.
and had an all new cast in here because nobody was available. But now you get to have the Jay and Howie experience, so it's a little different with Jay and Howie in here.
All right. So if I'm not scared off, yeah.
If you're lucky, you'll get a word at edgewise. If you're lucky. Mr. John Crawley is not with us tonight. However, we're still going to do Boston John's record roundup.
Yay.
Yay. Who would like to go first?
Sound effect. Now,
Yeah.
no sound effect tonight.
That's talk.
Oh no. I'll go first, I guess. It is not an album, but it is a single that was released on YouTube, and now it's available for sale. And I did buy it, and it's an amazing rock song, and it's a cover, and it's Dougherty featuring Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm. And the name of the song is Separate Ways, in parentheses, Worlds Apart, an old Journey song.
Yep.
And it starts out very elegant with the piano, and then bam, the bottom comes in, and it's just this hard, driving rock beat through the whole song. And it's just totally amazing. And that's my pick. I love the song.
Is it from a movie or something? Like a recent?
No, they just got together and did it.
Right on.
Yeah.
I guess it's
So it's a single.
all right. You just singles. What do you got, Jay?
I'm inspired by the fact that it's an anniversary this past Sunday, and I was playing a track by this artist anyway, and Howie was in the chat and mentioned it was his anniversary for the late great Johnny Thunders,
Yes.
who passed away in 1991.
Right. 91, 92, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Had his own band.
Mm-hmm.
Was famously a member of the New York Dolls.
Yes.
I'm not positive. Was he a member of the Dead Boys too?
He did. He actually was a session player for a lot of groups like the Dead Boys and so forth. Everybody wanted him. Everybody.
Just a really pure artist. So I'm going to his first album called So Alone. And I think we're all in the same deal with, it's got some great tracks on it. Leave Me Alone, Subway Train, Ask Me No Questions. But the track that if you need to know a Johnny Thunder song, and it's the one that every musician from Guns N' Roses, Hanoi Rocks, punk bands, everyone points to is You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory.
Mm-hmm.
Great song. Really good artist. Came at a time when you could buy a guitar for $50 at a pawn store and go back to your apartment and make music. And those days are gone. The talent's not there, and the access to technology has changed it that nobody goes to a store to buy a guitar to actually play. So I don't think we're going to see this kind of pure artistry again. It's very few and far between now. There's a lot of homogenized, I think they're still talented. I think Ed Sheeran's amazingly talented, but when something gets popular now, everyone runs to that style. We had that period where Dave Matthews hit, and all of a sudden you had Jason Mraz and John Mayer and Jack Johnson and Ben Hart. You had other artists that made sense in that grouping. You're not going to see a Johnny Thunders come along anytime soon. And it's, at best, it's punk, but it's just rock and roll.
Really?
But yeah, I think, at least check out You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory. I think that's the track that you'll understand where his talent comes from. So that's my pick of the week.
Right.
Great choice.
So this is an artist that we've talked about a lot. I mean, just on and off since we've been doing this. Not a lot, but it comes up quite a bit. And a lot of people point towards different albums or periods of time for this gentleman. And I've got my personal favorite, and it's so good. I think a lot of people forget how good it is. This is my absolute favorite Billy Joel album, Glass Houses.
Yeah, you love that album.
Yes.
This is, there's a reason for it. Okay. And the reason for this, I got to get my reading glasses on, because of side one. Side one is one of those things you drop the needle on it and you walk away because it's just amazing.
Right.
So just to give you a taste. Oh, great. Can't read it. But I can tell you that it's still rock and roll to me. Just a fantasy. You may be right. There's others here.
Is Honesty on that album?
No, Honesty is not on this album. That's earlier. The story with this album, interestingly enough, by the way, that's his house that he lived in at the time, which is really close to Theodore Roosevelt's house out on Long Island somewhere.
I think it's in Montauk.
I got my glasses on here. You may be right. Sometimes a fantasy. Don't ask me why. It's still rock and roll to me. And all for her name, I forget. Lenny or something, all for Leono or something. It's a great song. That's side one, and it's really good. And there's the back of it right there. But the story with this album, my understanding is, and I heard Billy Joel talk about this, he had a lot of really nice songs, like, Piano Man and Just the Way You Are and Honesty and all that stuff. But when they were doing concerts, they really didn't feel like they had a chance to rock out. So Billy Joel wrote this album, and he said that this is the most fun that he's ever had making an album. And the band had more fun than making any other album they made. It was just fun.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it really shows, when you listen to it, you can tell they're having a blast.
Yeah.
All those tunes. Side two is okay. Side one is a banger. So,
yeah. I mean,
yeah, I know.
Still rock and roll to me still holds up to this day with the right dance crowd.
My favorite song on this album is Just a Fantasy. It's my favorite song on this album. It's really good.
That's a good choice.
It's a really good album.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is.
There's like 5 albums in front of it that I would argue are his best or better, but his voice, especially now where it's pretty much just much lower registered, he even said he wrote like Uptown Girl because he could tell his voice was starting to shudder. Yeah. He's like, I better start doing falsettos now because I'm not going to be able to perform this song in 10 or 20 years. So he was smart about it.
Well,
but,
Innocent Man's a fantastic album. I mean, it's his
one?
Innocent Man, the one you're talking about with Uptown Girl on it.
Right.
That's a fantastic album.
Right. I just prefer the 52nd Street, that
a lot of people do.
That earlier period. I love the River album. And I think that the one with Downeaster Alexa, the Stormfront, I think that's an incredible piece. That's
they're all good.
Right.
This one gets enough love. It does not.
No, it doesn't. But check out, do you have Stormfront?
I've got all of them.
Just sit down sometime and listen to Stormfront, and it's amazing how you come away from it like, wow, I guess I slept on this one, because that thing is
a good album. And I would not, I mean, all of that stuff. I love The Nylon Curtain, all that stuff, Allentown, Pressure, and I even like Second Wind. I thought those are really good songs. Did a lot of good songs. But a lot of that stuff at the time when it was done was falling into the category of adult contemporary. And and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
This was a teenage pop album. And I think it might have been the last one he did like that. Everything else had more mass appeal. Like even Innocent Man, a lot of my friends' parents were going crazy over that album because it was throwback.
Right.
And it's good. It's really good. But I'd never heard anything like this. This was
No.
just, what is this? Billy Joel being the piano guy. There's not a lot of piano on this album. He's rocking this one.
I know that's what
makes it interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's just the one I would suggest. Like you say, most people are into 52nd Street or Turnstiles or, Piano Man, Just the Way You Are, and even Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. That stuff to me is okay. That's my album. It's almost a punk album, really, Howie, isn't it? I mean, it's got that kind of.
It could fall into that, sure. And the reason I'm smiling so broadly is when Jay said, "Do you have that album?" And you went, "Of course, I have all those albums."
I have all those albums.
Of course, he does.
You don't impress me as a Billy Joel aficionado who would have all of his work.
I have some weird Billy Joel, dude.
Well, and
Jay's doubting me. Should I go?
No. There's no need to force.
I have to prove that in your voice.
Oh no,
no. I buy it. I buy it. But it's I think things started changing after Songs from the Attic because he kind of took that early work and made it live, and it's again one of the most classic, best live albums I've ever heard. And albums
like they got like Paris Island on it, didn't it? The Vietnam War song.
I think it did.
That's Goodnight Saigon.
Oh, Goodnight Saigon. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't believe that's on.
Was that Nylon
no,
Curtain?
That's after. Yeah. That came after Songs from the Attic. But, again, I listened to Songs from the Attic ad nauseum with Penny Moskowitz from Long Island my freshman year in college. So it burned a memory in there. So
of course, Penny was there, of course.
Penny Moskowitz. I don't know where you are now, Penny. It was Penny and her two roommates, both from Howie. You'll get this. No one else will get this till this breaks on Apple. From Long Island. Not Long Island. They were from Long Island.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you know what that means, you know.
I
and it took 3 times to figure out what hua was too. What? Hua. Where? A what? Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I think it's a great album too. You just yeah, pretty much sort of you going to lean on, going on the island. I don't know. I like him. I've always thought he was a fantastic songwriter. And, absolutely.
But this is, to me, my album. And I remember vividly when it came out, somebody brought it to school. And it was toward the end of the day, and the teacher went ahead and dropped the needle on side 1 and just let it roll. And I was like, okay, I know this song. Oh, wow, I know this one too. Oh, wow, I know this one too. Oh, wow, this one's on the radio right now. It's like every song was a banger. It's like, what? And those are the albums I like to share. There are albums out there that's got a song or two on it that's good, and that's cool. But man, when you can drop the needle and just let it roll, and like every song is better than the last one, it's like, what happened?
Mm-hmm. I wish he would rescind his "I'm not writing songs anymore." That he did that like 10, 15, maybe 20 years ago. He's like, I'm not writing any new songs. I've written them all. And not in a pompous way, but I don't really have anything left to say. I think I've done my best work. I think it was Lullaby, but he kind of said he's not going to get any better.
Every month he does Madison Square Garden and he sells it out. He holds the record for the most sold out shows at Madison Square Garden. He does that every month.
He doesn't have to write. I just wish he would.
Right.
I'd like to hear more of him.
Right. I would too, because right now he's like that legacy act doing the same old songs.
Yeah. That's why you look at bands that like the Chili Peppers. If you really stop and think of the bands on tour today that are drawing a big crowd, how many of them are putting out new product with any regularity or albums? They'll put out a few songs and go on tour, but putting out actual product.
Interesting you say that, because I was thinking about this very recently. And, I'm thinking about all of the artists that I love who are not only performers, but writers who write their own material.
Right.
And it seems to me like my absolute favorite stuff, for the most part, with a few exceptions, are written by people under the age of 40. Most of it's written under the age of 20. I mean, I'm thinking about iconic, amazing songs. I'm thinking about People Gotta Move by Gino Vanelli. He was 17 when he wrote that and recorded it. And it's amazing. And Gino Vanelli's done some fantastic work, but nothing that anybody heard after he turned 27.
Right.
And why? Because I think when you're young and creative, you've got all this stuff, that you can get out there. And you reach a certain age. I don't know. There's something about that very few people can pull it off after 30. Paul McCartney did.
Yeah.
And I think he was pretty relevant until he was like maybe in his early 40s.
Stones.
Writer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Stones wrote anything interesting after 40. I mean, they had music, but I mean, think about
they've
it.
had great stuff come out. I mean, 40, these guys are in their late 70s.
Oh, they're fantastic performers.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they're still putting out product. And they've definitely had songs between 40 and now.
It's not Under My Thumb. It's not Miss You.
Right.
It's not Start Me Up. It's just not the same. I mean, Paul McCartney still does a song here and there, but it's not the banger it was. You got to have this youth thing when you're writing. Prince was like,
well, then explain U2. U2 keeps putting out product.
I can't explain U2.
I can't either because I don't know. I might be weird, but I don't care for them.
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing. I don't get it. I never got it.
I don't get
what you're more or less saying is that acts themselves should write themselves off after 30 and be like, we're probably not going to put out anything great. We'll just do what Poison does. Poison has to put an album out in 30 years, and yet they tour every year and make millions of dollars. It's like,
I think you do your best work when you're young. You do your best work when you're young. You're not jaded. There are things happening in your life. You're not established. I don't know what it is. But
hold on. I just got a phone call from Beethoven, Monet, Van Gogh, Salvador.
I don't make the rules. It's just what it is. I mean,
grandmother.
Look at it.
I mean, I don't think, I'm sorry. It's Hemingway on the phone. He wants to argue with you. I think a lot of people can still produce fine art as they break 30.
I'm talking about pop artists. I'm talking about songwriters. I'm not talking about DJs. I'm not talking about movie producers or scriptwriters.
Hello, is this Carole King? James Taylor? What are you doing?
Yeah. Hi. When was the last time they did?
So Warren
was amazing to you. We have Tapestry, and she was in her 20s, and that's iconic, one of the best albums ever. But can you name anything else Carole King did other than Tapestry?
But see, that's the thing. It's not a matter of having to name it. It's a matter of knowing that they're still producing quality work if they can produce quality work.
It's like you almost, we had this discussion with punk, where it's like you're punk when you're young and you're creating. And then you get good and you almost can't be punk anymore. You're good. You got to do something else.
Yeah.
So you become the talking heads for the
become
pretenders.
emo or new wave
But that's the argument everyone has for they love the band until the band is famous. And then they don't like the band anymore because the band's not critically theirs anymore. It's not their niche. It's their thing. Now they've played to 10,000 people and it's like, oh, they're sellouts. It's like, I don't know that they're sellouts, but they got popular.
They got
popular.
Yeah. If I may break in here, we have forgotten Matt's pick.
I didn't know Matt had a pick. He's a guest. You got a pick?
Yeah, I got a pick.
All right.
I'll pick with you.
Whoa, all right. I like that. I like that.
No, I just yeah. When I was thinking about it there, I was like, okay, yeah, they might throw this to me here, but this was something I had heard today for the first time, and I call myself a fan of the band Korn, but it's I was watching a little behind the music style documentary on them, and then I'm like, you know what? Now I want to listen to some Korn. So this is The Path of Totality, and it came out in 2011. And what I really like about it is it's kind of this fusion of their metal style, and I think the little write up I read about it was they call it like some future proofing of metal or something. It wasn't their words. It was something that some smarmy guy probably wrote, but but I mean, it was really like a lot of dubstep mixes and a lot of really just showing how this band can progress over time, and that compared with the little doc I was watching on them too, like talks about how their style, it's metal, but it's not just always this in your face, go hard stuff. They add a lot of groove in there and stuff too. And to see a band with that kind of range, and they're one of those bands too, I think, from what you guys were talking about. They still put out stuff on par to what they did kind of when they were most famous, late 90s, early to mid 2000s, where I mean they can pretty much go within that same style. I do a lot of wedding DJing, so the chances of me playing Korn are pretty slim to none. I would love to take those people on as clients that would want Korn and Metallica at their weddings. Might would have to up my equipment insurance, but yeah.
If you put a gun to my head, if you put a gun to my head and say, name a Korn song or I'm going to blow your brains out, I'd just say, shoot me, because I can't.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm in the same boat.
Do you know why? You know why though?
Because you have shitty taste in music.
Because it's a terrible name. It's a terrible name. Korn.
Yeah.
You can't use your proof a terrible name.
The R is backwards. The R is backwards.
And it's spelled with a K.
Yep.
It's spelled with a K.
Which I didn't even really realize until you showed me an image.
You didn't know it was spelled with a K?
Dude, what do I care about Korn? It's a dumb band name, and I'm not in a rock. There's nothing interesting happening.
John Young at djntv.com.
I have an email. My email is like, when I first heard the name Korn, it reminded me of the horror movie Children of the Corn. And I'm like, not into horror. So I was like,
right.
You guys don't know like Freaking Elise, Adidas, and all that?
Be a good name for like country band.
Yeah.
I got nothing, dude. I got nothing.
One you all might really like is they did a cover of Cameo's Word Up, and it came out really freaking solid. Like it's pretty amazing.
I've heard it, but that's not a Korn song.
Gotcha. Yeah, good point.
I know that one, but I don't. Yeah, I got nothing. And no, that's
what's next. You don't like Faith No More?
Cool. I like Faith No More. Like Epic was cool.
Sure. Yeah. Then you should probably look at Korn.
Well, maybe if they named themselves something a little more appealing than Korn, I might have.
And so if somebody came to you and said, "I don't listen to that guy Prince. It's a stupid name," you'd have a heart attack.
It's his name. Well, I would have a heart attack. And there's plenty of people who have no idea who he is.
No, look into Korn in this
because he was too old when he was making product. By the way, explain the Chili Peppers to me. Anthony Kiedis is 60. They're putting out stuff that makes top 10 singles still. They're creating over 30.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say that no one does it. Of course they do. Jeff Lynne still writes really good stuff for other people. I'm just saying that seems to be the pattern. Mm-hmm. Like you're hot under a certain age, and after that, it's not that you can't write anything, but it's almost like you're almost too good. Like you're trying to be a perfectionist or something when you're young.
If your career is based on love songs and it's the boy wants girl love songs and you're married with 3 kids, it's got to be difficult to write the hold on loosely track. Right. That I understand.
Yes.
And if your whole angle is I'm pissed and angry at the world and I'm going to sit in my $1 million house,
right,
and write a song about how upset I am, I get that. But I have the same almost contempt for hip hop artists as they age.
It's exactly I'm in the hook.
Like, excuse me, Ice-T. You're not.
Yeah.
And I want to meet Ice-T.
You haven't had to use your AK for a very long time.
No. I want to meet Ice-T
every day
because I just want to say to him, what was the feeling going from the cover of Rolling Stone in a police uniform as the most hated artist on the planet, having done Body Count and Kill the Police and all this crap, to then playing a police detective on Law and Order for the last 15 years. At what point did you look in the mirror and go, how did I pull this one off?
Well, it's
and by the way, Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters is over 30.
I know Dave Grohl's over 30. And he's
putting out good
I like
product.
Dave Grohl. I'm not
Right.
telling you
Good
that no one can do it. I'm telling you that this is typically the way it just seems to be
I
working.
know, but I hate when there are rules like that. I hate.
No, it's not a rule. It just seems to be the pattern.
I know, but patterns to me make things a write-off.
When you break the mold, you're amazing. That's incredible. But most
I'd rather just
do
wait
that.
and see. It's like Amy Mann married this guy, Michael Penn. Of course, we all know myths.
He's dead.
No, he's alive.
Michael Penn.
Yeah.
Oh, who am I thinking?
You're thinking of his brother.
Yeah, Penn and Teller, right?
No,
Sean.
Sean Penn, Chris Penn.
Chris
Michael
Penn. Chris Penn.
Chris Penn is dead.
Chris
But-
Penn said.
I heard a track today by Amy Mann of Till Tuesday, and she did the Magnolia soundtrack for P.T. Anderson. And she's obviously a really good writer, obviously, like, you know, got this ethereal thing going on. Not stuff I'm super into, but she's doing a duet with Michael Penn, and lyrically it was beautiful, melodically it was beautiful. But it's like they're still creating great stuff, but it's just not my stuff. So that's why the age thing always throws me. I'm like, yeah, I understand it's hard to be angry when you're older. Like, I give Dave Mustaine and Metallica some credit. They're still putting out stuff that sounds remotely like they're still pissed off.
Yeah.
I mean, Lars is like talking about how he's coming up with this angry drum solo while he's sitting on a private jet flying to a New York like art auction where he made $30 million. It's like,
Well, they are still kind of angry because they don't always get along very well. So
that's got to be it.
It's a band that, you know, they're actually still butting heads.
Right. But I definitely think I'm happier when I see a band like an Aerosmith, the Stones, Chili Peppers, bands like that, U2, that are like, here's our new album, we're going to go tour. And then there are bands you don't know that are still like, here's our new album, we're going to go tour. They just won't let go. They just will not stop creating. And
No,
there's not.
I think that's really cool too. What I was trying to get at before you got triggered by what I said.
Triggered. Ooh.
I'm almost 30 now. I don't want to say.
I know. I'm trying not to. Right on the edge.
I got
there.
3 years to go.
What I was getting at, and all I was trying to say was, it's interesting how that seems to be the pattern, if you will,
Right.
of how it works. Yet DJs don't fit that mold. The older DJs seem to be doing really well.
Well, you waited to drop that part of this discussion, didn't you?
I was trying to, but you were getting mad and hold on a minute, Faith, no more.
Hold on, Sir
What do you
Anthony
mean?
Hopkins. Sir Anthony Hopkins just texted me. Oh, he's considering dropping his Apple podcast fees for this show. Brian's been drinking. Okay, we're good.
Always
He'll buy that.
BSR on PBR.
I met recently, I've met some fantastic, cool guys who are much younger than me and are doing very well as DJs. And that's cool because a lot of it seems like I meet a lot of younger guys who they're like cosplay DJs.
Right.
You know, they're not really DJs. I've met some serious dudes who like are successful and really friendly and not egomaniacs who are in their 20s and 30s. And it's just refreshing.
Right.
Because it seems like most people that I know who really kind of know music and understand crowds and, you know, how to do things,
Right.
are my age and older, you know?
Well, there's that wisdom and that experience. That gig I had last night. There's a lot of people who, and maybe younger would be the best description, who may have had a difficulty walking in a room with a 25 to 75-year-old, 200 people with zero direction, zero anything, not do this, do that, nothing, except for the one old guy that wanted desperately to hear Kid Rock all summer long. Outside of him, and it was a game, and I didn't leave it thinking, and I've gotten 3 emails or texts today from clients who are all like, just want to thank you again for last night. It was amazing. This was awesome. Thank you. I still think I need to bolster my 100 to 110 BPM Motown / rock / older white guy with his wife music.
Did I tell you?
I'm watching the crowd waiting for them to come out, and I'm like, I got to get them out. I'm getting everyone but them. Oh, Stevie Wonder, signed, sealed, delivered. They come out. Okay, so Brick House, they stayed out. Okay, play that funky music, white boy. A stuff I wouldn't normally play. But that's the beauty of being experienced as a DJ is you have those moments of clarity where you go, I know what to do. I just don't know when I'm going to do it.
I didn't tell you my Kid Rock story, did I? From
I don't think
2 weeks ago. No, you've been absent. It's a good story. It's a good story. You've been busy doing important things.
Yes.
NAMM show and Rockstar event, gated community gigs and things, which is
gated community gigs. That's my new DJ.
Whatever it was, I don't know. You doing something in gated community the other night. That was last hotel rooms. Tear out the walls.
$635, by the way. It's still in shock about that.
Right.
Jeez.
So I'm at the club, and all of a sudden, most of the people walking in the door either have cowboy hats on or cowboy boots or both. Men and women. What the hell is going on here? This is weird. So somebody comes up to the booth and says, do you have any, and I'd never heard of this guy before, Morgan Wallen, who's a country artist.
You don't know Morgan Wallen?
Well,
I mean, only because his name isn't, he's the one that said the N-word last year and got...
I've discovered all of this stuff. But much like Korn, I don't care.
So his name has been kind of more in the press than anything else.
And I don't pay attention to noise. But this, I'm like, okay, fine. He's in town for 2 nights at like American Family Field, which is where the Brewers play, big baseball stadium.
Right.
Selling it out, and he's launching his tour in Milwaukee, of all places. Know nothing about this guy. I'm like, okay, well, let me look. I got some songs. Everything has to do with whiskey.
Yep.
You know. So, fine. I'm playing.
And the N-word, apparently.
So it's slow, but I'm playing this stuff. And I'm going around to the tables, introducing myself and asking people what they would like to hear. And I went up to this one table, couples, 2 couples. The guys, my age or maybe a little younger, you know, not from round these here parts, if you will.
Ding, 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 ding.
Pretty much. So I said, what can I play you? And one guy says, we like classic rock. Said, okay. Like, give me a little direction here. What are you looking for? Skinner. Like, all right, I can do that. So like roots rock, southern rock. Cool.
Yeah.
And the other guy says, yeah, and play some Kid Rock.
There we go. Now you got the white trash audience in your club.
But it gets better. It gets better. You got to hear my story, though. Play some Kid Rock. Before I could say, oh, sure. He says, because we stand with him.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Cringe-worthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were they drinking Bud Light?
Yeah.
Probably. And here's the punchline. Speaking of, yes, Howie likes this part.
Yeah. When you're done, I have a retort.
Okay. So, yeah, maybe they were drinking Bud Light. Maybe they weren't.
No, they weren't. That's the whole point of this.
No. Listen to me. Listen to me. What I didn't have the heart to tell them, because it was more fun just to kind of know it without saying anything, was that the person at the door that let them in was transsexual.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of that, one of the patrons that came in was wearing cowboy boots and shorts and a cowboy hat. Now,
I have pictures of this stuff. It's real.
Yeah, now,
Girl.
you know, Brian pointed that out. That looks great on a girl, but not on a guy.
Do you want to see the picture?
Not good on a no, because that's not a good outfit for a guy. Did he tie the shirt at his waist?
My retort to the
As for Copacabana?
Okay, my retort to the Morgan thing is, this was on television tonight. Morgan was supposed to do a concert, and it was a huge concert, some sort of arena or something.
Yep,
and
canceled.
He canceled, and he was taken away by ambulance because he was falling down drunk.
Oh. Whiskey. I bet you.
Whiskey, and that's where the whiskey, yeah.
But the second night, he came out on stage and said, "We're going to refund all your money. We're still going to do a show, but my voice is messed up."
They
So
said
he
his
did the
voice
show.
was messed up, but the backstage people said no. He fell down backstage. They couldn't get him up. He was so drunk. They had an ambulance take him away.
He is in the country world that I DJ in. He is on fire because he's that new
Yeah.
breed country outlaw party,
Yeah.
like a little dangerous, but he's a chunky dude with a hat. So he looks like the everyman. Morgan Wallen?
Yeah, I look like a skinny dude to me.
Well, yeah, no. Oh, I'm thinking of a different thing. Yeah, no, he's skinny, but
You're thinking of the bearded guy. No,
yeah, the one.
See, to me, he just looked like a dude. He
Yeah,
didn't look like a
Morgan
cowboy.
Wallen's the guy with brown hair. The other guy with the
baseball hat.
is the one that gave the refund.
mullet.
Yeah, no, he is. He's the party, business up front, party in the rear guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's, country is so full of crap now with new like poppy artists. I mean, Taylor Swift is a country artist. Go figure that one out.
It was.
So it's now
He transitioned, if you will.
they're trying to get more of the Morgan Wallen, Tyler Childress, Sturgill Simpson. There's like a wave.
Dinkley.
No, there's Texas artists that like the Texas country guys are hard. Like if you do a wedding or anything with people from Texas and they want country, play Tyler Childress, Sturgill Simpson. That's the country they're into now because they're local.
Yeah.
And one of the guys is on Yellowstone. If you guys watch that,
I have
and
no.
one of the actors in there, that's either Sturgill or Tyler. I can't remember which it is.
I can't remember his name, but yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I don't
Country's
want.
gotten really weird that way.
I don't want you to get me wrong. I'm not suggesting I'm not trying to say anything negative about the music. It just wasn't on my radar.
No.
Why would it be? I'm DJing in a nightclub in a city downtown. Why would I be listening to Elmer Dinkley's greatest hits? I'm not. I don't believe I've ever dropped country.
I mean,
I mean, you do.
but I'm doing weddings and I'm in Riverside County, and 90%. If you come to me and say, "Yeah, we're getting married in Temecula," great. Where are you guys from? Oh, we're from Temecula. Oh, you want country? Oh my God, we love country. How did you know? Well, because sometimes the stereotypes are real.
Yeah.
And one of them is if you're from my area of California, you are into this. If you have a Spanish accent from my area of California, I'm playing cumbias and reggaeton, and you're going to be thrilled.
Now there is
That's just the way it is.
there is a silver lining to all this, and I don't know if I talked about it last week, and I'm just telling you because you weren't here.
Right.
But when people left, I would say, "Did you have fun?" "Oh, thank you so much." I'm like, "I'm sorry we didn't like stay in the Morgan Wallen lane." I was like, "Oh, no. We really enjoyed your mix. We enjoyed the vibe. Thank you so much." And I was everywhere.
Right.
So regardless of, what they were really in town for, or, I did give them some of that, but I did some other stuff and they dug it. So everybody
mix it up.
It was a good night. It really was.
Yeah, but you're not a club known for anything, right? You're not walking in with a big sign that says house night.
Oh, no.
Right.
Disco night.
It's a theme bar.
Dude, it's a spy theme. What are you going to play? Peter Gunn theme all night? Like, I mean,
James Bond.
yeah, like I get it. You're a spy bar, but I mean, you're not a house club. You're not a disco club. So you have the opportunity to create a night.
We are whatever club we need to be that night.
Right. That's my
Criminally open format type.
Well,
And you know what? I'm gonna take you out on that one, Matt, a little bit. I know what it means, and I know 5 years ago when it started coming around, it made sense. Man, am I sick of the term open format? Because it's not open format was like you're doing everything. Now it's like I'm getting gigs. They're like, yeah, it's just open format. And you show up and they're like 99% they want this. Well, that's not open format then. Open format is I'm just playing whatever I want, whatever works. But it's such a huge term now. It's like saying that's house music instead of saying, oh, that's actually progressive house or that's EDM or that's, open format seems to have blown into something that's almost uncontrollable.
I don't say it to other people. There was somebody last night who I met, who I really, the other night, I really liked this person, by the way. DJing all over town, young guy at all the cool spots, good dude. He said, "What's the vibe down there? Where you at Safe House?" I said, "Dude, everything." He's like, "That is the best." He said, "I think that there were some DJs who were down there who are EDM DJs." And I'm like, "Well, you know some of the people down there." He's like, "Yeah, well, I don't know if they're still there, but they're more the EDM vibe." And I thought, is that really the vibe of the place? And then I said, I'm not going in there trying to tell people what to do or be the tastemaker. And before I could finish, he's like, "Exactly. You can't do that. You got to give them what they want. Then you can do a little something." But yeah, it got it. But yeah, I'm whatever it needs to be. And I keep it weird. And that's my catchphrase for this place. I do keep it weird. So it's not like you're going to go in there and hear the same wedding every week. You're going to hear the wedding you weren't expecting to go to every week, perhaps, or the bar or the club you weren't expecting to hear every week. Right. I still give them something they want. I don't know.
I like that catchphrase, keeping it weird.
But when people ask me,
"What, you're not too old to keep it weird, though? You're over
what
30.
music do you play?" I say, "Good music."
Well,
am I too
Hunter S. Thompson kept it weird till he died.
Hold on, Hilly Crystal's on the phone. He said he coined the expression, "I play good music." You're really kind of just, I don't know what you're doing tonight, Brian, but you're really pissing off the dead.
Drop it. I'm just
calling you, Jay.
Well, I'm a conduit.
I told you it's different when Jay's here.
Got the Ouija board out.
It is. Yeah.
It'll be angry, tired Jay tonight. Sometimes we just have White Claw, excited Jay. You get a different Jay every week. We got White Claw Jay tonight. There we go. Yeah. And now
I'm just going to be depressed all night with this over 30 can't be creative or do their best work.
I am not talking about everyone. I'm saying in general, most people are doing their most interesting work when they're young. That's what I'm saying. Not everyone.
You know why, Brian? It's the oldest expression in the book when it comes to music. You got your whole life to write your first album. You got 6 months to write your second.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, a lot of these people, when they hit 30, they're producing or they're session musicians. A lot of them,
What else
I still think it's a case. I'm going to take it as a case by case a little bit.
It is.
I agree that I think in certain genres, I have a tough time believing. But again, if I was 20 and you were 40 and you were a punk artist and I found out you lived in a mansion, I don't know that I'd think twice because I really like that song and the way you rhymed orange with something else. Versus as I've gotten older, even I will listen to a song and go like, "Really, dude, you're married with like 6 kids. I'm having a tough time buying this song." But I don't always want to get that deep with the music. Sometimes it is what it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You just want it to be, do you care that Wonderful Tonight was written about a woman that was married to George Harrison that Eric Clapton lusted after?
I don't.
I'm more impressed that he used the name Layla because it's from this beautiful Arabic love poem from the 1 BC kind of thing. It was like
in his 20s. Yeah,
it's interesting you should say that. I saw a little blurb in one of these magazines where she is the most written woman about the love songs by different artists. Everybody was in love with her. She must have been something else.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted her.
It speaks to tragedy and creativity. Look at Tears from Heaven.
Well,
the Clapton knows.
Right.
When his son Connor fell to his death.
It's a good song.
It's a great song.
Oh, yeah.
But to be able to put that out there, it's ageless in that respect.
It is.
And I think that's when the music is so collectively strong, when that muse comes to you in whatever form.
Unfortunately, it was tragedy. So he was feeling extra emotional when he wrote it. So maybe it's that when you're young, you're still trying to figure things out and you got a lot of hormones bouncing around and you're sad and you're happy and you're back and forth. And when you get older, you're a little more stable and maybe the creativity isn't as interesting then. I don't know. It's just a theory.
I know.
So yeah, when the guy is, son passes, of course it's a tragedy. And people are more creative when they're heartbroken. I mean,
yeah, it's true.
If you're feeling, if everything's fine, like right now, how creative can I possibly be? If I had a tragedy in my life, oh, of course.
Yeah, but I mean,
something about the chemicals in your brain or something.
And I agree, but I think you're as creative as you want to be. If you got up tomorrow morning and said, I want to be creative, I think you'd be as creative as you allowed yourself to be. I don't think you should write yourself off and say, how creative could I be without tragedy?
I didn't say you should be lined up and shot after you turn 30 years old. I didn't say that.
Well, just saying. I'm just getting nervous. When someday in 20 years from now, when they give me my AARP card, I'm going to be a little anxious. There's a guy with a noose around the corner, and you're
not what I said.
I was trying
to get
you're eligible. You're eligible right now for that card.
Oh, I don't think so.
No, oh, yeah, you are.
He's been getting it for a while.
It must have been in the same card. It must have been in the same mail that came with all the crematorium stuff. Nah, I'm good.
I think Michelle's hiding that stuff from you.
I hope so.
She could be.
Hers came, let me tell you, that was a sad night. Can you believe they sent this? I'm like, yeah, they sent it to everyone. Don't worry. They probably just confused you with somebody that wasn't 50. It's like,
it's okay, Jay. I'm not here to beat you up.
So we've learned, kids, only listen to new artists that suck.
Okay, riddle me this. Okay, would you agree with this statement?
Okay.
Paul McCartney is one of the most prolific songwriters of all time.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then why didn't Paul McCartney just write awesome music after he was kind of done doing his stuff for everyone else?
Why didn't he keep?
Why didn't he keep writing and like awesome stuff for everyone else? Like what? Okay, I'm done. I guess I'm not recording anymore. But maybe I should just take all this awesome energy I have and write music for others.
Oh, I think there's a point where you don't need to tap the well anymore.
You don't need to.
Right.
That's what they always say. And that's what you kind of assume. You don't need to anymore.
So you're saying he can't?
I don't believe he can. I don't think he can. I don't think he could better than a younger person. You do have exception to the rule, such as Diane Warren. There's just a machine.
I was going to say, yeah, she was my ace in the hole I was going to bring up eventually.
No, I'm not suggesting no one can do it. I'm just saying this is the pattern.
Right. Well, sometimes patterns are there to be broken.
I can say the same thing about the guy who you poke fun at me about all the time, Prince. Prince had bangers for what? I don't know, until he was about 40, and then he didn't have bangers.
Yeah, but you still wrote.
And it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like, it was different.
No. So let's turn the question around. Let's see if it isn't a two-sided argument. Is he not putting out bangers over 40 in general, or is he not putting out bangers over 40 in your eyes? Maybe as we get older, we don't see the same sense of quality of product. It ain't just a second to think about it.
It's not me. It's the buying public. They weren't buying his stuff.
Oh, the buying public is so fickle and confused. They're wearing Jay Giles t-shirts. They can't name a song. I mean, don't even get me started on the buying public.
I'm just saying.
So every time at NAMM last week, I felt bad. I saw this little girl come in with a Ghost t-shirt. I was this close to running over and going like, hey, what's your favorite song? But I'm not going to be that bad.
Probably your dad is a singer or something.
Name 3 songs.
I did that to somebody when they were wearing a Ramones t-shirt.
Yeah, you should have to at least know what you're wearing. What if you're wearing? I hate the America t-shirt.
Give me your 3 favorite songs. They were like, "What are you talking about?" From the Ramones. They couldn't name one song.
Ramones made more off their merchandise than they ever did off their albums.
Oh yeah, and they'll get half doing it. They're still doing it.
No, if you're going to wear a shirt with a band on it, it's called Google. Just at least have something prepared.
Yeah,
at least have that much. It'd be like you wearing a political party head honcho t-shirt. You know what? You chose your costume. You left your house in your costume. Accept what could happen to you in that costume. If you want to go out with a chain wallet and your pants halfway down your leg and a t-shirt that says "I hate cops," don't be pissed off if every time a cop sees you, they give you a hard time. The same way if you wear a Motorhead t-shirt, expect someone to come up at some point and go, "Man, yeah, I miss Lemmy." Who? Lemmy?
Who?
Just be cool with it, but wear your costume and or turn it around and say, you know what? I think this is the coolest looking t-shirt, but I really don't know much about it. What is Motorhead? Oh, dude, Motorhead's this 3-piece band started in England in 78. It had Lemmy as the lead singer. They've got these great songs, Ace of Spades, Bomber, Overdrive, 1916, Killed by Death, blah, 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 blah. Wow, thanks, man. I got to check them out. Like, just be cool about it, because there are hardened fans that walk the earth waiting for no other reason in life than just to start with you because you have this thing on.
And most of them are boomers.
I used to laugh because I think it was Tupac that said, you know, how is all my audience white in the Midwest?
Jay, okay, trivia question for Motorhead.
Yes.
Lemmy, okay, why did Lemmy have the mic way up and his chin was up in the air?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
Because before they got famous, they were being booed and they were having beer bottles thrown at them. So he had them set the mic up there so he wouldn't get hit in the face.
That makes sense.
And then that just became his trademark, that he would sing with the mic up in the air like that.
Makes sense. I buy that. I hung out with him one night for like 3 hours, and like everyone else has ever said, genuinely a gentleman and an incredibly nice, kind guy. Super, super nice. Gave me one of his last cigarettes. Kept giving me drinks. Super, super nice guy. Cool. But just as real as they come. No poser. Just legit.
There you go.
And there aren't many of those out there.
What do you think, Brian?
I'm just listening.
Do we have a sponsor or anything tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're supposed to be the sponsor thing.
Yeah, DJ Event Planner. Go check them out. www.eventplanner.com.
Yeah.
No. Wrong app. Don't confuse the two.
Yeah.
I hear enough about that crap.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
No, I do, and don't, because wrong broadcast for that. But anyway, thanks. Yeah, let's put a fork in it. We'll try another show next week. We'll bring John back and see if he can
give that calms things down.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe with his younger youth, it'll like change your perception.
His youth.
Are you kidding? He's almost your age, Jay.
Oh, is he?
Or Brian's age, rather.
Late 20s?
We were talking about missing persons earlier.
They're playing here again. She's doing her birthday thing this month.
Well, you mentioned...
He explained to me, I saw her last year at a little bar on her birthday. And she had the most incredible bass player. And we found out later that he's the original bass player from the Knack. That's her new bass player. And the guy is phenomenal.
Yeah, and you recognized him and nobody else did.
Yeah. We went over and talked to him, helped him load out, me and this other guy. But I noticed the other day she's playing at another local bar here on the same date. And I'm like, she lives in LA. I wonder what her affinity is with coming here on her birthday to gig. That's 2 years in a row. That's a little weird.
All I was going to say is that I was thinking of the song Voices Carry.
Okay.
And earlier we were talking about Ute and the Long Island accent. I thought she was singing Versus Carry in a New York accent.
No.
But that's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah. But you're thinking of voices and not missing persons.
Well, yeah, whoever they are. Fork. Done. We're done.
Till Tuesday.
Go.
We're done. I got one right. Everyone watch. I got something wrong. Everyone look.
I did. I get it wrong all the time.
Finally.
My brain's broken. We'll talk about that